Hey everybody, this is the next video in my hellletloose map mastery series where I'll be talking about some different spots on SME. I just want to do a quick intro just to explain some stuff about this map. Now for SME there are a lot of different powerful spots. I'm not going to post all of them. I'm going to try to focus on spots that are one, a little bit lesser known, two, I think are pretty powerful. And I'm mostly going to be focusing on spots around the midpoints of the map, as well as spots that don't use buildables or trucks that you can just do completely with jumping, with a couple of exceptions. I'm also going to highlight a couple of the mechanics we're using for these spots, just so that you can utilize them more for other parts of the map and find spots yourself. The first one is just mantling. So the way the mantle mechanic works now is a little different than it did in the past. You need to be at a certain height to get your mantle to work. Okay, so right now, as you can see, I can't jump over that. However, I step on this wooden plank here. It gives me a little bit of extra height, and now I'm high enough for the mantle to work. One change to mantling compared to the past is that you cannot cancel your mantle midway through. You used to be able to cancel your mantle and you would be able to sort of stop on top of the thing that you're mantling on. You can no longer do that. So if you're ever mantling on something that you want to get on top of, you have to find a way to mantle in a direction that leads you to the top of whatever it is. The second mechanic we're going to be using is just a crouch jump, which just gives you a little bit of extra height on your jumps when you're trying to land on a higher up surface. So for example, if I'm just jumping right here, I can't get to the top of this rock, right? However, if I go towards it and I crouch jump, I can get on top like this. It gives me a little bit of extra height when I'm trying to jump on top of something. So both of those mechanics will be used for a lot of these jumps. I'll also be using certain elements of the game where we're using a glitch, something that's unintended left in the game, and that's kind of a debate in the community as to whether or not it's a good or bad thing. I personally think that things that add verticality, things that add sort of dynamic movement are a good thing, even if they might be unintended. But I will be posting a couple of caveats around some of the spots just so they don't get, they are abusable, so you can use them in ways that maybe goes past the point of being positive and gets you into the point of kind of exploiting. Use your own judgment as far as how you utilize the spots, and again, I understand that this is something people are going to disagree about, and also on the off chance that any developers ever do see this video, I would just say I do not think it's a good thing to continually remove things that add to the game's movement system. The developers have had a history of doing that. There used to be a lot more SME spots that aren't available now because of removing things like prone jumps, removing things like the window glitch. Just because something is unintended does not mean it is not a positive asset to the game. Again, I urge any developers that may ever see this to stop just taking stuff away that players actually enjoy. And lastly, if you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like or a comment, just let the algorithm know that this is something that more people might want to see. This is something I'm doing completely for fun, but I appreciate all of the support and I do enjoy seeing the subscriber count go up in particular. And with that, here are the rest of the spots.
Channels HE and 5 Willie P.